Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Seated next to Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, this one featuring a couple of playoff teams from a season ago, back at it again in 2019.
And we both felt the confidence from both of these teams, right? They feel like they will be back in the playoffs again, but they shouldn't be overconfident. 7 teams last year made the playoffs that didn't make it the previous year, so you're not assured of going back year after year.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, it's the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
They run with Ezekiel Elliott, last year's NFL rushing leader. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
One thing for us to keep in mind and remember, they're coming off of their open week last week. They got to sit home and relax a little bit before the final stretch of the season. They got the lucky draw because every team in the league wants to have that open week later in the year rather than early. They benefited.
From the 31, Wilson. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. Everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now.
This is Elliott. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A nice pickup of 23 on the 3rd down conversion.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
A 1st down carry by Elliott. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston 1st down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, You go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Here's the second year back from Southern Miss, Ito Smith. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Second and 5 now. Wilson under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
So here are the Ravens now under 12th year coach John Harbaugh. They'll be led out by a man who's now in his 11th season in the league, Matthew Stafford, at 31 years of age.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. They got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well, that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
3rd and 2, Stafford. Caught the tight end Walford. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A 3rd down gain of 19. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Christian Kirksey. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. A few issues here on the offensive line, apparently. He got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
Now Kamara takes this to the 45. Not much space there after the nice move.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Number 53, Mike 53. Switch up, switch up.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Gonna take a this is caught inside the 15. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try to put it in that.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Michael Gallup, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens have taken the lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Pulled it good on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that one, an 8-play drive, it spans 75 yards. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Brian Burns leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Got a man. It's Brashad Perriman. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
To throw is Wilson. Got a man. It's Ross. Complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
On 2nd down, it's Elliott. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the gun, it's Wilson. It's complete to Grant. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 42.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On first down, it's Elliott. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his second rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Wilson to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, Wilson finding Green complete. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Texans football to start quarter 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now back to the ground with Elliott. In on the stop, Mason Foster, who was 7th in the NFL in tackles a year ago.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Right there. 54, right there, right there. 54, Mike.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Wilson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
And just as you called it after the earlier sack, they set up the screen. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have retaken the lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Rosas good with the extra point, and the lead is now 10 to 7. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about it?
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. But it looked like a Raven was able to get in there, and they will indeed keep the possession.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
On 2nd down, Kamara only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
I'm coming after you.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. He finds his target. It's Schultz. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Stafford going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
And he finds McLaurin. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that.
No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. A first down carry by Elliott doesn't amount to much as he'll get forward for about a couple. Eddie Pleasant in on the stop.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Got it.
To throw on 3rd down, Wilson. Got a man open, it's Ross. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. Wilson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Von Miller racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Throwing is Wilson. It's Kelsey on the ground. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 19.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
14.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Texans push further out in front. Roses to add the extra point.
And that drive we just saw that culminated in a touchdown, exactly what many offenses are looking for. Sustained ones that can impose their will on the other team.
A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Roses on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. What I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Running with Kamara. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. On 3rd and 2, Stafford under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Christian Kirksey in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Oh, he sheds himself free. Touchdown, Houston. Mark that down as an 85-yard punt return. And the Texans push further out in front.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Roses now to add the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say, I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to change much personally. 16 yards on that one at a Raven first. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. And this is caught by Curse. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Stafford going to come up 1st and 10, and he's now 10 of 10 throwing the ball here to start the game. Now it's Kamara in the passing game, and they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Stafford on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Schultz. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Throwing again is Stafford. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 7 yards there and a first down. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
He's got his man. It's Curse. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Michael Gallup, that's who he was looking for, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. To the air again, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It's a loss of 4 on what ought to be the final act of this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly and abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Out of the gun, Stafford. It's caught on the left side by Kurz. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Now a throw for the All-Pro Kelsey is complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. Wilson now 15 out of 17 through the air, only 2 incompletions. It's first down. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. Tackle made there by Mason Foster.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson. That's caught by Trey Quinn. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Wilson. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. On the counter, Elliott looking for a seam but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down.
Hey, one set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
From the gun, Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one can.
Pressure comes and it's blocked. The Ravens block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Touchdown, Ravens. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard and you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Well, not only did they block it, the awareness to go and grab it and then take it into the end zone for 6 points. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here we go.
Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor.
2nd and 6 at the 26-yard line.
They go play action with Wilson. That one complete to the former Seminole, Auden Tate. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards the pickup there.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Wilson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
Here's Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. From the shotgun, a give to Elliott. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Man open, that's Damian Radley. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Texans push further out in front. And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
And he went all the way into the end zone. Rosas to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. 5 plays there on that drive. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
No gain on the dump-off. It's second down.
That was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he cuts it back right. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Alvin Kamara, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens get a bit closer. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
They go for just one here as it's up and good. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. The third quarter has not been kind to them. After they built that lead at intermission, they've seen that lead shrink.
And how much of that is simply execution? How much of that is maybe you lose your edge a little bit because you've got a lead? And you do have to credit the other team some because they've made some adjustments to start to slow them down. Can they find those counters now, those extra plays or plays they haven't run that'll be effective and get them back moving again?
They'll be looking for something here, anything to seize that momentum back. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Let's go,
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So from the 36 now, first and 10.
Check 3.
Now it's Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Von Miller in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's second and 21.
59. Mike's 59.
Now it's Wilson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
180.
After the interception, here's Stafford. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's second and 4. Here's Stafford. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Stafford on third down. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Something of a rare incompletion. Remember, Charles, last week under 50% throwing the football. That's what he was, but he has turned that around in this game.
Last week was commonly known as a fluke. For him to be under 50%, not normal, not the usual. But to be up over 80%, that's extra time in practice, and that's throwing with extra confidence as well.
A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of 2 there. Second down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Good job right there. Good job right there.
From the shotgun, Wilson. He's got this one complete to Perriman. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The play began back at the 23, and they pick up 23. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. Wilson now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
From just shy of midfield, Wilson. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
Keep playing hard, fellas. Let's get it.
The Texans on 3rd down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now Wilson. And Tate's got it. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens 33.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. A 20th carry here for Elliott. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. You'd have to use timeouts. What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
7 yards there and a 1st down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
It's a jet sweep. They get it to Green. And they'll get to him just inside the 15. Even after the strong run we just saw, they're able to corral him quickly defensively.
This has been an up-and-down, back-and-forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
2nd and 5 now. Wilson, and it's caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. John Ross with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Texans push further out in front.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Now a quick slant as the throw's complete, and they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Back to throw, Stafford. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone, but sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever, and I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and 5. Again, it's Stafford. He's got Curse. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, a magnified big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Now here's a throw, right side, taken in by his tight end. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back, I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off, if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You stop to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 2nd and 9, Stafford looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another first down. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. The shotgun snap for Stafford. He finds his target. It's Schultz. No gain there on the completion. It'll be second down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
To throw again on second down. Stafford got a man. It's caught for a Ravens touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab as his guys are back within a single score. Now Bullock to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. He's going to be stopped here with a penalty marker on the field.
Personal foul.
I'm not sure what this is about.
Defense.
Boy, tight game like this, fourth quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high. The tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
The face mask moves him all the way out past the 40 now for first down.
Watch the whip. Alert, 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 alert. Check 59.
Play action. Now Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Noah Spence in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Here's Wilson. Complete. The tight end, Kelsey. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. From the gun, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. So Matthew Stafford in the offense. Down by 7. A little under a minute 50 remaining. And they're in danger of a third straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And this is caught by Curse. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. He's back to throw. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Back to throw. Gosh, given the time in the short game, would he have been better off just dropping that?
Yeah, when you look at the clock, you think so. But it's hard to get a receiver to drop a football. They're trained to catch everything.
This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. Figuring they're going for it on 4th down. Remember, though, they do have all 3 timeouts, so even if they don't get it, all is not lost.
Yeah, normally in this situation, when you're talking about having to go for it, everything is in this play. But as you noted, with those 3 timeouts, they actually have a little bit of a safety net.
Watch the screen! Watch the screen! Watch the screen!
They snap it to Stafford. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Stafford. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on fourth down. Here we go on fourth. Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Texans take over an excellent field position. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Elliott. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory. I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one. And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for Houston, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.